Okay, we're good. All right, here we go, everybody. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Thanks for being here, all you live weirdos. It's time to do the show in 3, 2, 1.
I guess you were the pilot who took the job. We have been seeing unusual activity in this asteroid field for a while. Unidentified scout ships patrolling the area. We want you to take care of them.
It looks like people.
The Morning Stream. You know something, amigo? When you go down, it's going to be over a skirt.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It's Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. Had to think for a second. Last day of the month, man. 28th, Brian.
Right.
Woo!
Not always, but this year it just happens to be the last day of the month.
Yep. What are you going to do to celebrate the final day, the waning moments of February 2023? What are you
I'm
do?
going to take care of a little freelance,
Yep.
some work on a bedbug website and a soap a soap advertisement.
Okay.
And then I'm probably going to go drive people around for Lyft.
Ah, well, there you go then. See,
Yeah.
look.
And get the car ready for something that we'll talk about later in the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely are going to talk about that. I'm so curious about it. That's why I'm glad you're guinea pigging it, because I want to know how it goes.
I'm so guinea pigging it.
If it comes back with, like, vomit in the back seat and a dead guy in the trunk, then we'll know what to think.
Then there goes their security deposit.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of security, many of us have mothers. You know, we were born with a mother. And I decided, or didn't decide, we had a bunch of plans to do. We had a barrage of family things this weekend. One of them was I say had to. We really liked doing it, so there's no have to. But we watched Van, and we had him overnight, and we took him to the aquarium and just had a blast. Kids
nice.
a freaking riot, man. Have yourself a 4-year-old. They're so much fun. Anyway. So that's all going on.
You got to start younger than that, though, unfortunately. You can't just have the 4-year-old.
No. Well, I mean, you can if you adopt at the exact right time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
Sometimes those kids come with kennel cough and ear infections, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Well, that's a callback to the pre-show. Become a Patreon, and you'll know what we're talking about.
That's right. Get in there and have a listen. Anyway, so part of this was we were going to take him and spend a bunch of time with my mom on Sunday. So we did. Went out there around noon. And a little worried because, you know, he's 4, he wants to play, he wants to run around. And my mom's house at this stage of her life is just all very ornate and perfectly placed and a lot of glass things and, like, stuff that looks like it'll break if you freaking look at it wrong, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we were okay in that regard. We're having a big conversation. Van's sitting in Kim's lap, chilling out. And we were talking about tattoos. Because people in their 80s and 90s just cannot fathom them. They just can't understand them. They don't know.
I mean, even our age, it took a little bit of adjustment because when you and I were kids, it was like, oh, yeah, Popeye has a tattoo, and people who were in the armed services usually had tattoos, and bikers had them, but that was about it.
That was kind of it. Then the NBA had them, and, you know, we sort of got used to them.
Yeah, we adapted fairly quickly, but it's the previous generation that's had a hard time.
You and I are the crossover, I think, for
we
for
are.
the
I think
tattoos.
we're the middle of the gradation,
and which is kind of funny because we're both kind of hesitant. We're both willing to do something meaningful if we ever get one.
Yes.
But we're kind of hesitant, not really in a hurry, you know.
Oh my God, you've kind of nailed it, right? The generation before us, for the most part, got tattoos if they had to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then the generation after ours just gets tattoos because they like something right now.
Yeah, it's like that video I think I talked about on the show where the guy he's doing all the generations and he starts with how did he do it? He starts with Z's, like Gen Z's, and they see a gay character in a TV show, and the Gen Z's just kind of look at it. Okay, nothing. They don't have any reaction. It's just normal to them.
Sure.
The millennials see it and they go, yes, all right, you go. That's woo! Right, like that. Gen Xers go, he's gay. Right, we kind of laugh at it because we're giggling. We're like a little embarrassed or whatever. And then the boomers are like, turn the channel. This is some bullshit.
Say, the boomers like, well, guess I'm done watching that show.
That's the end of that one. I'll be boycotting that show. So it's a little like that, I think, with some of this. So tattoos. let's talk about tattoos and racism in the same conversation.
Sure, yes.
My mother is, well, okay, first of all, old man John's over there saying, I don't understand. I mean, why would you? It's a permanent thing. And if you want it off, you got to use a laser. And it hurts like hell. And I said, well, John, that is getting it off, so you can remove them. Well, yeah, but why would you? There's so much pain. I said, I'm kind of with you. I don't really want one, but I don't think you need to throw an entire couple generations under the bus because they've embraced this body art business. Blah, blah, blah. So he's just kind of cranky about it. And my mom pipes up and she goes, the only part I think is weird, because when I really started to see a lot of tattoos, my mom says, was in the National Basketball Association. There were always like a lot of tattoos on players, and you always knew who. Or she goes, if there was one player without tattoos, it was almost like he was the different one now. And I'm like, okay, you're right.
Did she really call it the National Basketball Association?
She called it the NBA, but I'm
okay.
I'm probably
darn! I was really hoping that I refuse to call it the NBA.
I kind of wish she would have as well. But anyway, so she's going on, and then she says, those ones where they get them from like their wrist all the way up to their arm. I said, yeah, they call that a sleeve, Mom. And she goes, yeah, the sleeve, when they do that, it's so interesting and so intricate, and everyone's got a million little stories about it, but I don't think it works as well on the blacks. And I said, the blacks? What? She goes, yeah, it just makes it darker. It makes it seem like you can't see it very well because they're already, how they're already dark? As if it's a question.
Geez, yeah.
I'm like, yes, Mom, I know how black people are already darker than me, the whitest man on the planet.
Right.
And she just kept going on about this, the blacks. And I thought, my mom does not have a racist bone in her body, but she has many bones that are accidentally and of her generation racist. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
like just these weird little comments that are funky and out of place and just sort of like the blacks. It's like, Mom, say black people, say people of color.
Say it doesn't work as well with people with darker skin, or it's harder to see the tattoos. It's geez.
Yeah, I mean, she's again, sweetest lady. She never had anything bad to say about anybody ever of any color, race, creed, or anything. It's
of course.
It's not her thing. But in her trying to explain this at age 82, it's just all that could come out, And I'm kind of half laughing, half holding it in, and that was a lot of fun. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is talk to your old parents or grandparents, and hear them say cringy things, and then tell the rest of the world about it on a morning radio show. How about that?
There you go.
Okay, do that.
nothing like just that. We'll keep this between us. We'll keep this in the family.
Yeah, exactly. So also yesterday, you may have noticed yesterday, I'm sure those listening noticed that we didn't have a show yesterday, and there was a reason we didn't have a show.
You're right. Now that you say that, now I just realized we didn't have one yesterday.
That's right. I had to go in for a procedure for my tooth, my crown that had shattered and flown off in 5 directions. We decided. So here's what we decided. We decided that there were a few choices on the table. Pull it out entirely and who cares? Let me be a redneck in the back. Who cares? Right?
Sure.
No offense to rednecks without teeth. Okay.
Business in the front, redneck in the back.
There you go.
Edition.
There you go. And I thought, no big deal. What is that? Like $200? Dental stuff's expensive. Anything more than that. The other option was just straight up replace it with another ceramic based, crown. And third option was maybe go for the gold,
like an actual gold tooth, like like yee or yay
or Jesus or whatever he's calling himself this week.
I was gonna say Jesus, but I think he's just yay now, right? Just yay.
Is he just yay? Okay. I
think he's just yay.
Or is he Heil? He's Heil Hitler now, I think.
Well, he's very much that. Yes.
Anyway, so I got one above it that's gold that I've had since I was 19. So in my mind, part of the problem is that the gold one is the quote-unquote gold standard, and every time it bites down, it wins the fight. That's why this one breaks, is my theory.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he says
2 teeth enter, 1 tooth leaves.
He says He says you could do that, but here's what I recommend. I recommend ceramic for the price and for the look. I'm like, I don't care anymore how it looks. I really don't care. I'm not trying to impress anybody with my face.
Yeah. Hey,
but
check
anyway,
out. Can you tell which of my teeth are ceramic?
Yeah. No kidding. The problem is gold is like high right now. The cost of
Yeah.
gold or the
Yeah.
investments and all that stuff is way high. I guess gold futures or whatever they call it.
Mhm.
And so what would normally be, let's say, $1,000 crown currently is like $3,000, and that could go down, but that's where it's at today to buy to get that much gold. And he says, here's an option you haven't considered. So fourth option now on the table.
Okay.
He says you get the ceramic crown, but underneath it we put this fancy new space age freaking cement that has never been stronger than the history of time.
Oh gosh! Wow. Okay.
And I said, well, what's the price for that? And so of all of the options, the cheapest was pull the tooth. I'm out $200. This option was about $500-$600,
Okay.
and the other two were up in the thousands. And
yeah,
so,
and it feels like that would be the way to go. If it's the back teeth, I've got a missing tooth here on the front, not the front, but on the side.
Yeah.
That's not one that I chew with. The dentist says, that's pretty much hidden by your smile unless you do like a big old toothy grin, and even then, it's not super noticeable. Plus, it's not one of the ones you eat with, so up to you if you want to replace it or not.
right.
I like it because it's a place for me to put my gum when I'm eating an Outback Steakhouse. But
Stick it in there. And
just jam it in there. Now I've got my fresh peppermint after I finish my steak.
ew.
Like a lot of people, I'm hoping I get more ews than just Jeannie.
Ew.
But with yours, that's an important location. That's a chewing tooth.
It is a chewing tooth, yeah.
And the weird thing with that, them recommending an all ceramic tooth, it can only make me think of one thing. Okay, if I've got a gold hammer and I hit a ceramic vase, that ceramic vase is going to shatter instantly.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I said. Or if I didn't use that example, but I'm like, isn't that the problem? Gold beats. It's a rock paper scissors thing. Gold beats ceramic.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I think.
Yes.
And
don't
he
know
says
what the hand symbols are for those, but
he says that's true, but this is like, I guess the stuff they use for teeth now, it's not like simply ceramic. It's like really dense, and it is tough stuff. So usually when this thing gives me trouble, like every couple of years, it's that the whole thing came off, not that it shatters. This last one was a little bit weird. So he thinks that gold's not a soft metal, it's a pliable metal, chat room. It's a little bit different. I mean, it's soft, yes, compared to other metals.
I mean,
but
it
it's
is
not
considered a soft metal. But if let's say not a hammer. Let's say I take my wedding ring, my gold wedding ring.
Yeah.
Not this black titanium bullshit I'm wearing.
No,
but,
forget that.
my gold ring, and I hit my hand against a ceramic vase. Still going to shatter.
Yeah.
Still going to break probably.
Still going down, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think I was right, and he agreed. But he says, I think this is the perfect mix of price and durability. Let's go this middle route. Now, turns out what that means is, I got there at 9 a.m. No, was it 9:30? Whatever it was. 4 hours in that chair.
Jesus.
And I got to get triple numbed because my fat head is slow to numb. So no matter where you put the needle, it's like, how you feeling? It's still not doing anything. Okay, we'll come back in 20 minutes.
That is the worst.
I hate it. And then when he finally goes in, and it hurt it was like, whoa, wait a minute, that freaking hurts. And he goes, all right, that's what I thought. Takes out the needle again. Goes deeper, moving my cheek around, hurts like hell. Hit that little nerve that shoots a thing through your eye and your tongue and everything.
Yes.
He goes, all right, I think I got it. Then that's another 20, 30 minutes of letting it settle. Then he came back. Then they do all the work. They do the 3D scan. They're in there doing their little 3D machine thing they do. And then he's got to mill the thing and wait for that. And then 4 hours in that chair.
Oh my God! Could you at least watch The Return of the King? Or
that's what I should have done, is watch like an extended edition of something, and I didn't. I watched a bunch of Futurama
you just watched
cartoons.
Lord of the Rings, so that wouldn't have worked. But
although I don't know, maybe that would have been better than a bunch of cartoons that are normally funny to me, and I laugh, but I can't laugh. I'm in the freaking dental chair.
oh God, yeah,
Nothing's
I don't
funny
think you
in
want
there.
to do comedy.
Yeah, and then
Parasite would have been a good choice because you're trapped there. You don't have your iPad in your lap. You can read the subtitles.
Yeah, man. And here's the worst part. The girl, this assistant, dental assistant, I guess was what you called him. The girl. What do I sound like? Somebody's old uncle? Is this your new girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your new girl a lot. Anyway.
Bring the girl in to hose out my mouth.
So she's in there and we're talking and she goes, "So how long have you been with Dr. Matthews?" I said, "Oh, I've been here since he first established, and it was like 2 offices ago, and we really like it here. It's why we keep coming back, even though it's kind of a drive, to get here now, and because we moved and all that." She goes, "Oh, what year?" And I said, "Oh, I think it was 04. The reason I remember that is my son was exactly 3 or 4 years old when he first came here."
Uh-huh.
And I go, "Now he's 23." And she goes, 04. Oh, I was only 18 months old then. And I went, "Shit!"
That's funny.
An 18-month-old was here when I first came and got dental work done, and now you're...
Well, she wasn't there. She wasn't working at the dentist's office at 18 months.
No. She wasn't there. They had her at front desk then. She, didn't know how to hold the instruments or anything. But
And how do you spell that again? Beep, boop, boop,
beep,
gaga.
beep, 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 boop, gaga. My diaper's
It's a little
full.
more than a year and a half, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I felt like I had faced my mortality yesterday in a way I wasn't prepared to, so that was a little bit weird. But anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, dentist. I love my dentist. I hate going to him. He does a good job. It doesn't matter. I just don't want to go, and I always spend money there, and it freaking sucks. And then I'm starving when I leave. But half my face is all frozen up in a big glob, and I was numb till 9 p.m. last night, or not totally numb, but just like sensation still. Jeez. And cold drinks were hot on one side of my tongue and cold on the other.
Oh, wow. So your face was like a McDLT box.
Kind of, yeah. I expected the George Costanza with a little more hair to be singing outside of me. That's a deep cut, guys. Go look up.
Nicely done. Wow. Very deep cut, but a beautiful one.
Go search Jason Alexander McDonald's commercial, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Wow.
All right, Brian, I have a test for you. I meant to do this the other day, but you got busy and I just never did it. So
this was the thing. Yeah. You'd texted me and I didn't get the text because I took a nap.
Yeah, and it was the right thing for you to do. Yeah, absolutely. Plus, you had a busy night the night before, so it's all good. So I want to
let's just call it a hangover. Let's just call it like it is.
I'm going to put a story, a segment of a story, up on screen for the chat and also in our Discord for you.
Okay. All right.
And I want you to read that. You don't have to read it out loud, but just read through it in your head, some of it, all of it, whatever you want, and kind of gauge how quickly you consumed it. All right? Just roughly was it.
Okay. So I've not looked at it yet. I will do my timer on my watch.
Okay.
And just
that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah. It's kind of a sad story, but that's not the point.
Gosh,
I just grabbed some random text off a Yahoo article.
That's a countdown timer for my damn stretches. All right, ready? I'm hitting the start button, and I'm going to scan this. All right,
here we go. So he's scanning, he's reading. It's probably annoying for me to talk while he's doing it.
Really annoying. I'm taking my headphones off.
All right, so he's getting through it, everybody. And you're seeing it at home. Now, people listening at home on audio only, obviously you're not seeing this, but it's just a section of an article it doesn't really matter what the content is. All right, so you
feel like
you feel like you got it?
I feel like I've got the article. I spent 32 seconds.
Now, I'm going to put something else in Discord.
Okay. All right.
And it's the same exact stuff, but I would like you to scan it and tell me whether you read that any faster or slower.
I like this stuff. I really do. Yeah, this is cool stuff.
So see if you read that any faster.
Take my headphones off.
Oh, yeah, take your headphones off, to go throw up. Yep. All right, so he's doing it. He's reading it. And for those home listening, the letters or the words all have a couple, 2, 3, sometimes one bold letter.
Way faster, and I feel like see, the first time I did read it, like I was thinking you're going to ask me questions about it. Like, how old was the student? How tall was the student? But,
no, I should have specified. You had to worry about any of that. But.
Yeah, no. Is this something? Is this an Evelyn Wood technique, or is this?
So this is that it's called bionic reading, and I'd never heard of it until like the other day. Somebody had pointed it out on Twitter, and it actually freaking blew my mind because it gave me a block of text that I ripped through without even thinking. It was so fast. It was like speed reading, which I've never done. Yeah. And then I would go back and look at the stuff that wasn't that, and it's a slower go for me. They use okay. Supposedly, this is me speaking completely out of experience. I don't know how true this is or what the deal is. So maybe somebody out there can write in. Wendy may be able to speak to it this weekend. But supposedly, this is a test for those who might be kind of teetering on the edge of some level of ADHD. Like if you got kind of a ADHD thing going on and your brain wanders while you read or tries to jump ahead or tries to think ahead, you can get a little stumbly and it'll slow you down. And that this is this way, I forget why it works, but by bolding those things, it's like your brain says, oh, no, I know where this is going. I'll finish it before you finish the word.
It's kind of like if you've got, like, let's say you're going down a path.
Yeah.
And you kind of spryly hop down the path.
Right.
But then let's say you've got a bunch of logs or a bunch of circular stones, and you can only step on the circular stones. You're kind of taking bigger strides and going down circular stones a little faster because those your mind's filling in the rest of the stuff.
Oh, I like that physical comparison. That's actually pretty good.
You.
Yeah,
I appreciate. I enjoy giving you an analogy.
I think it's a good one. It feels right to me. So like, I don't know what it means for me, except I went and found a browser add-on, a browser plugin that lets me on any page on the internet. I just hit this button. It's called, what's it called? So people can get it. It's called Bionic Reader, and you can get it for any Chromium browsers. I think Firefox has it. You can get it on anything. I don't think you can get it on Safari. I could be wrong. It might be there.
I'm looking it up right now.
Safari's weird with how they do their stuff.
Yeah,
I both love it and hate it. I love how Safari saves resources by doing this because it's the fastest browser on the planet. So it's so fast. But it's such a pain in the ass to do any kind of browser plugins.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway,
actually, there is. It's called Outread Speed Reading, and it does that bionic reading thing. I'm trying to see what.
Very nice.
Oh, it's customizable.
Does it let you just scan a page and convert it? Kind of.
I'll have to try it. There's in-app purchases, which to me means you can use it for free for 7 days, and then you're gonna have to pay for it.
Well, I kind of hope. I don't know if this is
exactly. Yeah,
I don't know if this is
$29.99 a year.
Oh, really? They want a yearly for it? Yeah, this other one's free. Well, anyway, I haven't found anything that'll do this yet, but I kind of want a Kindle plugin or a freaking something like that just to see how a book reads. Because to me, I mean, I'm not kidding when I say this, night and day for me. Like,
yeah, that's a huge difference.
Huge. And I think it's probably going to vary for people. Some people in our chat were like, nope, doesn't do a thing for me. Some people on Twitter told me it slowed them down. Yeah. So I think it's just all about how neurodivergent you are from whatever the midline is and whether it helps you or not. It kind of depends on where you land there. But maybe Kindle does have it.
We were just talking a minute ago about Parasite and subtitles. How cool would it be if you could make your subtitles, your movie subtitles?
Oh, hell yeah. I bet I could get through. In fact, I'd probably be irritated they're taking so long to say the next sentence.
I was going to say, you could read the line and then look up and see the person actually say it.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just, to me, it was a revelation. To others, I'm sure they've heard of this, but I'd never heard of this, and it blew my effing mind.
It's really
slick. I wish it worked with, it doesn't work with Docs. This plugin doesn't work with Docs or anything like Google Docs. I wish it did because that'd be cool when they're announced.
Gosh, yeah, maybe soon.
Maybe soon.
I was going to say it almost looks like the first syllable, but in a lot of things because assault is split at the thing, felony, facing, but then you get to charges and it's just urges instead of charges.
I think it depends. So there is some science to it where they depending on total number of syllables and also the shortness or length of the word, longer the word, the more bolds, shorter, obviously less. So like the word new is just going to have N. Yeah.
And, but video, so after has the first two letters, video, same number of characters, has only the V.
Oh, just the V? Weird.
It looks like it. Maybe it's
so maybe there's probably some method to the madness there. I don't know what it is, but it's I don't know what I'm a middle-aged ass old man, and I feel like I found a thing that probably existed for years and I didn't know about it. It's just rad.
Yeah.
So anyway,
no, that's cool. I want this in more places in my life where it's easy to easy to use and nothing I have to pay for. Like here's what I could see. I get that Safari plugin. I plunk down, maybe $10 or something for half a year, and then Safari announces in their next version, now includes bionic reading as an option in the reader view.
Yeah, it does feel like a thing that may be coming in that regard. I don't know, because it's not like I guess it's an accessibility feature. Sort of, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Just didn't know you needed it. Kind of.
Yeah, ADHD. I mean, if it's helping with ADHD, and I've trained myself really well on developing some good ADHD skills. Like I can start playing a Marvel Snap game and then decide I need to go look for Probe and Astroneer, and before I know it, game's over because I forfeited because I completely got distracted while I was playing Marvel Snap.
It's because I think in a lot of ways we both want to do all the stuff at once.
We do. I
think we're a lot like that way. Yeah.
I used to be such a good multitasker, and I knew when to say, you're carrying 3 things in your hands already, Brian. You're not going to be able to open the door to put anything away. Yeah. But that's kind of what I'm doing now, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, I need to put this away and this away and this away. And then I get to the place to put them away. It's like, well, my hands are completely full. I can't open the door to put anything away. So how much time did I really save? Exactly.
And I want to say this. For those out there suffering from like severe ADHD, maybe you're on medication or in therapy for it and stuff, I am not. This is not making light of that or saying, "Oh, look at us over here. We also," and we're not saying that. Okay, we're just saying this weird thing helps us. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
I bet I could be, clinically documented with a form of ADHD right now.
Probably. I know. I'm actually kind of afraid to like go in and have someone ask.
Yeah. Because
I think they're going to come back with something. I feel like
Well, on the way to the doctor, I'd see a Chipotle and I'd get distracted and go have some chips and salsa.
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to go to the ADHD doctor. Shit.
Oh, shoot. I had an appointment. That's right. Yes.
That's funny. All right. There you go. That's our test.
I'm going to give a couple of movie plugs, Scott. So normally these would be things I'd throw in recommendals, but they're not available for streaming, quote unquote, for free on the services you pay for.
Sure.
You have to pay for them on the services you pay for.
Yeah.
But we rented 2 Oscar films because, Oscars 2 weeks away. We're getting close. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, Scott.
Yeah, always love it.
And we have 3 Best Picture nominees to still watch, but we took care of 2 of them this weekend. We watched The Fabelmans, which I really want to call Meet the Fabelmans. I just really want it to be Meet the Fabelmans.
I kind of do too. Every time I hear that name, it does want to come out. But.
Yeah, fantastic. Michelle Williams, absolutely deserving of her Best Actress nomination. She is spectacular. Paul Dano, always great. So
always weird as hell.
Always weird and always less weird in this. Like he's more of a just your nerdy dad kind of thing. He's almost like a George McFly that you actually would want to be around.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that. And this is supposed to be apocryphal a little bit, but based on Spielberg's growing up, right? Like,
yeah, I could definitely see that. Here are the 2 big surprises for me. Small surprise, Seth Rogen, fantastic, and he barely does any Seth Rogenisms.
Really?
He's like, yeah.
He doesn't go or anything?
There's you get one point where he kind of laughs like that. Yeah, you could do, yeah, you're going to do this. And does this like gasp laugh thing.
All right.
Here's the huge surprise. Freaking David Lynch turning out, I think, the whole performance of the movie, and I won't say who he's playing.
David Lynch, the director?
David Lynch, the director.
What the frick?
He's fantastic. It's the best. One of my favorite scenes of the whole film.
I wouldn't have guessed he was in that. All right, that's good to know.
Second recommendation, Triangle of Sadness. Both of these, by the way, available for rent on all your various platforms, your Amazons, your Apple TVs, your whatever's for $5 or less. Triangle of Sadness. Now, as you remember, Scott, this is the movie that the trailer thumbnail is the woman throwing up, a freeze frame of a woman throwing up.
Yep, looks like gold or something.
It looks like gold. It's just well shot. It's just beautifully lit. This movie, I think, I can't think of a better combination than this. This movie is a combination of White Lotus meets The Menu meets. I had a third one in this. What was it going to be? Don't Look Up.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
interesting.
primarily those first 2.
Yeah.
the middle, I wouldn't even say the middle, but there's the middle 15 minutes, which contains the scene that is showcased on that freeze frame.
Yeah.
Is some of the most hilariously disgusting movie magic that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel I kind of want to look up and see if somehow the director got these people to really throw up, because you know how there's movie throw up where it's like, all right, well, that character clearly has something in his mouth and he's just going, blah.
Yeah.
And then there's the other kind that's the SNL style throw up, which is they've got you only see them from the side.
Right,
They've got a hose,
Yeah.
and they just open their mouth and like a whole stream of vomit comes out.
Yeah.
This one doesn't seem to have either of those techniques, because one person you clearly see throw up. Looks like their mouth is wide open, everything's falling out, and then they heave up more.
Oh man, maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe they did. I have no idea. Sorry if you're having breakfast right now.
Yeah.
However, so that said, the movie before that scene and the movie after that scene are almost two completely different movies, and it's so good. We loved it.
All right.
I still think Banshees of Inisherin is my personal pick to win. We haven't seen Women Talking, which is the last one in the list that we need to see. It's not streaming, not renting, but I think we can still go to the theaters and see it.
And you'll see that before you're done.
Oh,
right?
we'll definitely see it. Even if we'll go to the theater and see it, because we don't have a problem. We don't have horrible theaters near us. We just have the occasional horrible person that sits next to us. But
supposedly a brand new theater just opened for me, just north or just south of me. That's supposed to be really nice. So Kim and I are actually going to check it out. Yeah.
What is it? Independent or what?
I think it's
Regal.
Who are the ones with the cat? The dancing
Cinemark.
Cinemark. Yeah, I think it's Cinemark.
Cinemark.
It's fine.
Yeah, Cinemark's good.
Brand new. It's supposed to be real clean, run nicely. Got to be better than what we went to last time. So.
God, I would think it would be hard to be worse.
Oh, I found
it. Sounds of it.
This is crazy. I found a clip from that Triangle movie. Let's hear it real quick. Oh, weird.
Yeah, that's right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I remember that scene.
Yeah, that was a big one, right? Why does it say?
Oh, I Am Sci-Fi says I can rent Women Talking. It's $20 probably right now, right?
Oh, you can rent a woman and have her do whatever you want. Talk is fine. Oh, you mean the movie? Oh. Oh.
Well done, sir. Well played.
I get it now. All right. Yeah, you should rent that then. Tell us what you think of that. I like these updates on the Oscar movies.
Look at that. $6.99 to rent. So I think we'll just do that.
Yeah, do that. Those are women talking.
Looks like some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
From what I know about Women Talking.
I don't know anything about that movie. Like zero. I should probably.
I think when I first heard the name, I got it confused with the movie that was based on the Harvey Weinstein thing, which is I think called She Said. Is that right?
Oh, the one with Furiosa in it and all those people.
No. You're thinking of Bombshell.
Oh, right. The Fox News thing, Fox guy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No. She Said is So She Said the Weinstein. That one's got Ashley Judd and Zoe Kazan and Carey Mulligan and
was that old?
Patricia Clarkson. No, came out last year.
I don't remember that at all. How do I miss these things?
Biographical drama film directed by Maria Schrader and written by Rebecca Linkowitz, based on the 2019 book of the same title. But yeah, that one is boom right there. A dramatization of the whole Weinstein thing with some of the people involved. Ashley Judd, for example.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she kind of went away for a few years because she got blacklisted by him. Yeah. He's a douchebag. Who plays him? Who's the poor sucker that had to play Weinstein?
I was just looking that up. Poor guy named Mike Houston, who was in The Drowning, The Happy House, Deliver Us from Evil, Blood Ties. You know him? Have you seen him and stuff? Because I look at these movies and I'll think, he was in Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah, I remember that, but it's specifically
Jessica Jones,
something
Sneaky
older.
Pete.
Something older. Hold on here. I know he's in Red Dead. Let's see. Does a lot of voice stuff. Wasn't he in the Sports Night show? Or am I thinking of the wrong guy?
I
I think I am. Well,
Yeah,
hell. I don't know. That face is so familiar, it's going to bug me.
Oh, he's a local Colorado guy.
Oh, well, hey, making good by being
Born
a horrible
and raised
man.
in Colorado, went to the University of Colorado in Boulder. Boardwalk
Interesting.
Empire he was in. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
I might be thinking of that.
Yeah.
I don't remember this movie coming out. I would watch this.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I
Yeah.
watch this?
Why wouldn't you watch that?
I'm going to watch this.
It's almost a documentary.
Yeah, that's probably streaming somewhere. All right.
Sure. Yes.
Got a lot of old movies to watch.
Yeah.
As we know.
So why are you watching the same ones over and over, Scott?
I don't know.
Why are you doing it?
I don't know. I got a bunch of dwarves singing Misty Mountain or whatever in the kitchen when I should be watching something new. All right.
Currently streaming on Peacock, by the way.
Oh, Peacock. Cool. I'm watching something on Peacock. Or no, I just watched something on Peacock that will be my recommendal this week.
I know what that is.
Yes. Let's say it involves robots.
Mm.
That's all I'll say about that. I will say this.
In the News is sponsored by... You'll find quality in our corner.
It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by...
Brought to you by Soundography, our first official episode of the season. Our last episode was What Have They Been Doing Since Season 2, where we catch up with all of the subjects that we covered in our Season 2. But this next episode coming up is ABBA. Oh, yes. Agneta, Bjorn, Benny, and Anna Fried. Had to think real quick there on all four of their names because they're the A, B, B, and A. in
Sure,
ABBA.
the ABB and A. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, we go through their entire career, all the way from singing about dancing queens to newer songs where a guy rents a woman in the newspaper and she shows up with her mom.
Oh.
And
Okay.
yeah, there's a song. There's a song by ABBA that has that subject.
Is that the
And
one
it's
on that new album?
One of my favorite ABBA songs ever.
Really? And is it that new album that was up for Grammys and
No,
stuff?
this was an 80s album. And fantastic. Anyway, even
Right.
if you're not a fan of ABBA, like Tom Norm and Luke Sightwalker, might still enjoy the episode because you get a lot of history on who this weird band is.
Yeah.
That's soundography.com.
Worth checking out. All right, PETA, the people against the ethical treatment of animals, that whole, or no, they're not against
yes.
it. They're for the ethical treatment.
People against that's PETA. P-A-E-T. Or potato. People
potato.
against the ethical treatment of animals.
There you go,
is
potato. Yep. Those potato guys. PETA is offering to pay for a new Oscar Mayer Wienermobile only if it becomes vegan. So they got the money. They're just like, hey, Oscar Mayer,
I'm curious as to how they think this will work.
I agree. Following reports that Oscar Mayer Wienermobile's catalytic converter was stolen. This is the traveling one.
That sucks.
Wasn't stolen
that's
here,
right.
was it?
We need to start making cars without catalytic converters, Scott. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
That's your problem right there. Ain't got no gas in it. Let's see. PETA just came up with a solution they say will benefit all involved. PETA has offered to pay for a replacement with one very specific condition, that the Wienermobile must become vegan. I'm guessing Oscar Mayer's got the money to go ahead and replace it themselves.
But what do you mean replace it? It's like what the vehicle must be made without any animal parts. So no leather seats, obviously. What other parts?
I don't
It's
know.
not like they
Maybe
hand
they
out
mean
hot dogs. You
that-
don't go there and they hand out hot dogs.
Well, see, that's the question. Do they mean that the entire dog has to look like tofu or something? Because it's a big dog. It's a big wiener. So is that
it's just a little paint job to make it look paler? I don't know.
It's
this
really
is so
weird. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
So they sent a letter to Kraft Heinz, to their president. That's the company who owns it, offering to cover the cost of the company converts to a vegan hot dog mobile. Okay. PETA is willing to cover the cost, this is what they said in their letter, of the replacement part and the maintenance of the vehicle for 1 year if you convert it into a not dogmobile or something similar. With the rising
So
demand,
instead of a hot dog mobile, it's a not dog mobile.
exactly, it'll run on vegan cheese. Say with the rising demand of vegan hot dogs and following last year's report about the potential of Oscar Mayer not hot dogs, now is the perfect time to put the brakes on the old idea and make a shift, said the letter. Well, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand. I really just don't understand what they really want.
Yeah,
Tell
I'm
me
not
what
sure.
you want, what you really, really want, PETA. Because
I had a hot
Like,
dog this
all right.
weekend, and it was full of meat. It didn't have any
Yeah.
vegan aspects
you
to
know,
it. I'm not proud of it.
Oscar
but I ate
Mayer
it.
making vegan hot dogs totally makes sense. They should say it like that. Please, we'll pay for your Oscar Mayer Wienermobile if you make a vegan hot dog, but not if you make the Wienermobile vegan.
Yeah, who cares if the Wienermobile's vegan?
It's really just, all right, we'll replace the leather seats with pleather. Good, thanks.
It is weird. Someone in the chat asked, is Scott in a weird position right now, or is it just him? No, it is. My camera's effed, and I can't reach it from here, so I got to fix it. It's a long story. TMS is going to look like I'm a little bit to the right today.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of space over here.
Yeah.
It's kind of lame. I'll fix it.
All right.
Where are we here? Let's move on to this story. The current Mexican president, another world leader who's just a little out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
He posted a photo of what he claims is an elf. That seems normal. Well, I got to pull this up so people can see it because it's pretty stupid.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
I know. The thing is, I know, like in Mexican culture, it's the chupacabras and all that. They got all kinds of fun stuff. So this is kind of like that. But he showed this photo.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he says that's an elf in a tree. My guess is it's not. But anyway, he posted this photo on social media accounts Saturday, showing what he says appeared to be a mythological woodland spirit similar to an elf. This is President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador.
Yes.
Did not seem to be joking when he posted the photo of an alux, or luxe, I don't know how you say it.
Lux,
Which is,
maybe, yeah.
in Mayan tradition, is a mischievous woodland spirit. Lopez Obrador wrote in the photo, was taken 3 days ago by an engineer. It appears to be an aluxe. Adding everything is mystical.
It's Deadpool with a blonde wig. I can clearly tell just by looking at it.
Yeah, my guess is it's like that Mars face. You just get a slightly different angle or light thing, and it's like, oh, well, shit, it's like the branch is weird, and there's like pine cone in there. Humans, man, we see stuff, our pattern brains go, oh, I see a thing. And then either you are a rational human being who investigates further and finds out, oh, no, it's just the way the light was hitting it, or you're a psycho weirdo and you start saying it's real and spreading it all over the place. Which one will you be?
Yeah, I will be. I'll be the former. I think
I'll
that's
be
the
the
choice,
former.
right? I'm going to be the former. Scott.
I'll be the former. You and I will be the former. Everyone else can be the latter.
Also, I know what an elf looks like, and that's no elf.
That's not an
That's
elf.
clearly a demon.
Yeah. If that showed up at Helm's Deep and said we're here to help, I would have been like, nope,
I'm saying,
go away.
no, thanks. Yeah,
I'm good.
Appreciate the offer.
Yeah.
Go back to the hellhole from which you spawned.
I'll be that
you shall
rope-
not pass.
Yeah, King of Rohan, and be like, look, I had worm tongue spitting in my ear for 3 years while I turned green. Get out of here.
Just
Anyway.
finished the Hobbit, the third Hobbit movie last night.
Oh, okay. So give me the overall on the experience. Did you enjoy the rewatch more than you thought, or as much as you thought? Or?
I enjoyed the Hobbit rewatch more than I did the first time. Getting to see all three. This is the first time I've seen all three movies back to back with the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is still an A trilogy for me, and Hobbit's maybe a B minus.
I think that's fair.
I think I would have probably given it a C or C minus back when I first watched it, but
Yeah.
there's too much of the Orlando Bloom doing things, CGI things that Orlando Bloom should not be able to, or Legolas. Let's just call it Legolas should not be able to do.
Legolas
right?
doing freaking gravity-defying, physics-bending bullshit.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to do any of it. Like,
No,
I know that
no.
it was cool that he slid down that elephant in the first one or second one, third one, whatever it was,
yeah.
where he took down the whole thing by himself. That one shot, that was fine. Leave it by itself and never do it again. Don't keep doing it.
Making him do 4 things like that in each of the Hobbit movies just feels unnecessary. Like, oh, let's see. I know if I steer this ogre with a sword in its head at this building, I can knock the building down to create a bridge where I can go and save the other elf.
Yeah, it's just a little too Rube Goldberg device.
It really
that stuff.
is.
I don't know why the choice to do those things. That to me always flummoxed me a little bit.
Yeah.
But running up those falling bricks. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, that same scene. It's
That's
like
Chewbacca doing Tarzan for me.
That's Prince of Persia is what that is.
Well, yeah, for sure. This video gamey stuff. It's really a bummer because the first trilogy felt so much more grounded. Even with fantastical elements, there was a grounding in it, and this just didn't have that.
And I love Martin Freeman, but I feel like he makes a slightly unlikable Bilbo.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't live up to the what was his name? Ash from Alien. Can think of his name?
Yeah. Oh yes, Ian Holm. Yeah.
Ian Holm. That guy. He was great.
Yeah.
Missed that dude. Anyway, right. Mexican president, super into this stuff.
Not an elf. Next.
Nope, it's not an elf. Moving on. How about this one? Nutrition brand on the hunt for the world's first poomelier. Which I think is how you would say it.
Poomelier.
Poomelier. I guess you poomelier because you'd say, what are the wine ones called or food ones?
A sommelier.
Sommelier.
Is a wine one. Yep, the one that comes and recommends the wine for the food you're eating.
Now, this is how you know this is a story that was written over the Atlantic because their job is to smell feces for 1,500 pounds, but they spell feces Faeces.
Yeah, that's a good way. I like that. Like sticking a little A in the feces.
Yeah, I like that. A little bit of A in the feces never hurt anyone.
A in the feces.
Company looking for the world's first poomelier. I don't know how to say it right. To smell feces for money, or feces. Let's see. Nutrition brand Feel Complete will pay aspiring, I'm going to say the word again, poo smellers, $1,500 as they train in all aspects of digestive health and nutrition. They also look to develop an expert in all things fecal, as the sights and smells of feces can reveal a lot about a person's overall health and well-being. I mean, they train. I mean, if you're a gastroenterologist, I think is the term.
Yeah.
They know a lot about that weirdness, right?
Yeah, I'm fine pooping in a box and sending it to Cologuard. Really, I mean, we don't need. Like, are you gonna call this guy over and say, "All right, read my future. I just took a dump. Smell it. Tell me how long I've got."
Yeah. Well, from my nose, I believe 20 years maximum.
Oh, you had a Crunchwrap Supreme. I could tell that.
Yes, that'll trim 2 years off your lifespan. Every one of those you eat. Anyway, it just seems like a weird thing, and I'm all for the science around it. Is important. We're human beings. It's part of our cycles. We have to, it's how we determine a lot of health and wellness and all that. I get it. But you're gonna have to pay me more than $1,500 to smell somebody's.
And if you were the person on the other end of this, would you trust someone who's like looking and smelling your poop to determine your health, or somebody with, I don't know, a microscope and a lab coat?
What if he had a microscope, a lab coat, and he was sniffing your poop?
Well, now, why would you need the microscope if he's sniffing it?
No, that's true. You wouldn't need it, would you? It would just give us a feeling of, he's a doctor.
I brought a microscope. I'm not going to use it. Go ahead and.
Like they do in commercials where the guy says, I'm not a real doctor, but I play one on TV, and he's wearing a white coat and all that. It's like that. It's just to put us all at ease, make
By
us
the
feel.
way, DJ Stengel in the chat posted the Cologuard SNL skit from this last weekend with Woody Harrelson. And
was it good?
It was one of the best moments of a pretty good first half of SNL.
All right. People are all mad at Woody for his vaccine stuff.
Yeah.
Damn it, Woody. Why you gotta be like
Woody, come on. Keep it to talking about pot. We know you love the pot. Talk about the pot.
Oh, he does like the pot, right? He's in the pot. He's in the pot.
The pot. Yeah.
Well, the pot is it's available now to him in a free form. You can just get the pot now.
It is. Yes.
Let's move on to this story to finish things out. A Florida bill currently in the legislature would ban dogs from sticking heads out of car windows.
Oh.
I guess this is a thing.
Tuck in, everybody. Puns aplenty coming.
Yep. Yeah, get ready for this. NewYorkPost.com wrote the following. Everything's just so doggone political.
Ugh, going for the double.
Yeah, that makes me want to eat glass or something.
It makes me want to poo and make somebody smell it.
Yeah, make somebody tell me what's wrong with me. The state bill filed in Florida last week would make it illegal for dogs to stick their heads out of moving car windows. A pastime for man's best friend. I would say that's sometimes true. My dogs don't really do it, though. They're not into it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The unnamed bill, introduced by Democratic State Senator Lauren Book, let's see, book. Includes several provisions that would ensure the safety of the canines when inside the moving vehicle. I mean, is this a problem? Are dogs like jumping out and stuff or whacking their heads on?
I don't know. That's what I'd be worried about, right? Is like you go by a semi with one of those extended mirrors or something, or who knows what. That's the question. Where is this? What's causing the need for this bill?
Here's what she says, and I thought it would be like, oh, a dog whacked its head on somebody's rearview mirror driving too fast past it, or one jumped out in the middle of the freeway and died or something. But no, here's what they say. Says, although most dogs love to stick their heads out of windows, the wind can seriously irritate their mucous membranes and blow pieces of grit or other debris into their eyes. Pets should also could be seriously injured by objects as you drive down the road. So it's more, it's I guess it's more nuanced as often things are. But I thought Florida was all about freedom, man. You guys, I thought it was, you can't tell me what to do. And then they're like, no, we can on stuff we want to tell you what to do. We can tell you what to do.
If letting your dog stick his head out the window is wrong, then I guess you just better put me in jail.
I
guess I'm an outlaw.
I guess I'll say this, and to our, I have many good friends who are responsible gun owners. Dogs, yeah, like stick their heads out. But I don't understand when you've got like really lax gun safety laws, but really tight dog safety laws. I love dogs.
Sure.
I like people too, though. And I'm just saying, maybe they should also be, a little less crazy with that stuff.
I'd say let's hand out free 50s era looking pilot goggles and make them for dogs and problem solved.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Because I love looking at a dog wearing little airplane pilot goggles.
I do too, unless it's from the rear and I have to see their anus. Moving on. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's birthday boy Bill. Not Bill, sorry. I put this in the wrong place. It's birthday boy Bobby. I got to put it down here. There we go. This is Bill's, not Bill's birthday. Bill will be here. We're going to talk about making things. We also got a question from the audience for him. And then birthday boy Bobby will be here, where we also have a couple of texts and a phone call for Bobby. People are starting to write in about the segments. That's either because they're being very controversial, or they just like what you're saying. I don't know. You have to come back and find out after this break, where Brian will play a song.
I'm going to play a song. Remember an Andy Samberg character from years back called Shy Ronnie? Rihanna would sing along with him. It was like an old SNL bit, and Shy Ronnie would barely talk. They'd rob a bank, and you think it'd like this be this whole rap thing. Take it, Shy Ronnie. And he'd pee his pants or something.
I kind of vaguely have a memory of that, but not much of one. So.
Well, that has absolutely nothing to do with the rising Swedish pop act Shy Martin. She's got a brand new single called Late Night Thoughts. I'm playing it for you right now. She's got a animated video, and this song kind of a little Billie Eilish-y, a little Taylor Swifty.
Yeah,
kind of dig it though. A little twee pop. Anyway, the folks from BBC Radio 1 love it. And Spotify loves it, including they've added it to their Fresh and Chill and Indie Pop playlists. Here is Shy Martin and the song Late Night Thoughts.
It's a heartwarming story, but it's just not believable, which is why I give E.T. 1.5 stars.
I'm okay with the horny fridge.
The Morning Stream. If he'd hired smarter guys, none of this would have happened.
And we've returned. Who is that one more time, please?
Sure. That was the performer Shy Martin and her brand new song, Late Night Thoughts.
Shy Martin. I like that name. I don't know why.
Shy Martin. I know.
Just rolls off the tongue. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's just
I wonder what her real name is, because I'm guessing Shy is like a shortening of her
like a
her actual name, maybe.
It could be, well, who knows? Could be a nickname.
Yeah, no, just her name is Shy.
It could be like what we learned about Scoots McNary over the weekend. That was weird.
Right.
I always
assumed it was short for Scott, like it was like a play on Scott. But no, just because he scooted his butt on the floor.
Yeah, he's like one of those kids that didn't crawl first; he butt scooted, and so they called him Scoots, and it just stuck for his entire frickin' life. It's amazing. What a great actor, though. All right, we're gonna get this going here with Bill. Pretty sure I have
By the
his,
way, Icor asked, who gave E.T. 1.5 stars? Well, that's Perd Hapley from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's Perd Hapley, guys. Are you not familiar with Parks and Recreation? Because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun thing to rewatch. No, Scott, you got to watch new things.
Yeah, new things, Scott. Come on.
New things. Don't think about old things. Think of new
did watch
things.
a couple new things, I guess, but
yeah, that's true. I have new things actually kind of stacked for recommendals. Maybe too many. I feel like you right now. I got a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's like a bunch of planes all circling the airport, and I'm waving them in one at a time. All right, documentary, come on in.
Yeah,
you're cleared.
We just need one of those weeks where Nicole's I'm traveling, and Randy's like, oh, my internet's down, and then you and I'll just
plow
do
through all of them.
All right, let's do this.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
Bill Duran joining us from punishprops.com. He is always here on Tuesdays talking about the world of creative making and building and prop making and whatnot. And he's here today once again. Hi, Bill. Welcome back.
Hello. Good to be here.
I started a fresh run of Factorio, and I thought of you when I did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, I think I've got 4 probes left to discover an Astroneer, and then I think I'm done with Astroneer, and I'm going to switch over to Factorio. Was it
Well, there's Factorio, and then there's Satisfactory. Both are excellent.
Oh, Satisfactory is the one.
Yeah, the Satisfactory is a big 3D first-person thing. Factorio is basically that game, but in like a 2D top-down kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they're both really good games. Yeah.
I played them both. Satisfactory is more my jam, the 3D thing.
Yeah.
But Factorio still scratches that same itch.
It's a good itch to scratch. The other one I quite like is a mix of 3D and 2D. The what's it called? It's very localized. The translation is terrible on some of the audio. It's like, make a city to have your guy build. And it's just weird. But I can't think of the name. Someone in the chat will know this. It's the one where you roll around with the robot and do it. It's great. It's a very good game. Anyway, can't remember. What do you call it when you put a big skeleton around a planet? What's that called?
A Dyson Sphere?
Dyson Sphere. It's called Dyson Sphere Program is the name of the thing.
That's right.
That's the game. And it has the most delightfully bad translations. You gotta play it just for that. Anyway, Bill, I want to start things today with a quick email I got that was about you. All right?
All right.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's a text, but...
It was my twin brother, I swear.
He took a moment out of class and sent this. This was a text, but no name was attached. So whoever this was, apologies for not having your name. But here it is. You mentioned the Great Pottery Throwdown last week. I was once able to see a couple of seasons of the Great British Sewing Bee on YouTube before it got taken down, and I loved it. Got taken down? Why was that? Because it wasn't allowed to be streaming there.
Harsh language.
Yeah. Violence, I guess.
Right, exactly, yes.
Says, no streaming services have picked it up, even though I think they're they're at about 7 seasons. Comments on the internet theorize that there's is an interest in making clothing in the U.S., but I don't think that holds up. Most of us aren't potters either, and HBO carries that. Any suggestions on how to get a streaming service to carry the Sewing Bee? So obviously you're not going to know that.
Right.
But you love this stuff, and you'd agree that, sewing or whatever it is, competition stuff is in, especially this kinder, gentler sort of approach.
Yeah, wholesome competition.
Yeah.
I was actually watching the Pottery Throwdown when you texted this to me last night, because I am into that stuff.
Yep.
So, I believe it's the same production company that does the Bake Off. It definitely has the same vibe.
Yeah.
And we are a season behind on HBO Max, where they're streaming the Pottery Throwdown.
Yeah.
There is another season out, but we can't watch it here in the States yet.
Oh, they did this. They did this for a bit with Bake Off, where you couldn't. The newest thing was in Britain only, and you had to wait. But now they do the week-to-week thing over there. That'd be nice if they did that with the pottery deal.
Sure. So the only way I can tell to just get to watch that stuff, if you want, is with a VPN. And there are a million different VPNs now, so pick your favorite. So you just trick the servers into thinking you're from the UK, and it'll let you stream UK streaming stuff.
Nice.
However, just because a production company or a studio or whatever isn't streaming the show that you want them to stream doesn't mean you're completely helpless. The best things you can do as an individual is just talk about the show a lot. Find other people that like the show, talk about it a lot on social media. And believe it or not, writing a letter can be super powerful, or starting a letter writing campaign. And I'm not talking about emails or tweets. I'm talking about writing a physical letter and mailing it to the people who have the power to do it. I remember...
For this one, would you like throw in a little clump of clay? Like like they did with, what was the one where they had to send in the peanuts? Was that Everwood or something where like they included a peanut because it was so referential to the show or something?
Sure, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I remember it didn't do anything, obviously, but way back when Angel got canceled, a buddy of mine was like, yeah, I wrote him a letter to tell him I was really upset about it.
Yeah.
And getting a physical piece of mail that says something like that is a lot more impactful than an email.
That's unfortunate, though. Did he feel like he just had to, like, well, fine, I'll watch Bones now since he's over here now and I can't watch Angel anymore?
And for him, it meant he did everything he could.
Yeah.
Like he had to do that thing to feel better about it, and it obviously did not get the show renewed. But that's not to say that stuff is completely powerless.
Jay Funktastic in our chat says he did the exact same thing about Angel. He sent a letter. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing you can do is to support independent sewing content. It may not mean you're going to get that sewing show, but there are lots of people making their own sewing shows on YouTube or live streaming sewing that may have the same vibe that you want. And if you find those things, please give them money. Please support them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Once again, independent creators.
The content you want to see.
Support yeah, exactly. Support the stuff you want. And sometimes that means you gotta be down in the dregs for a bit. It's okay. Just because HBO doesn't carry it doesn't mean it's not worthy. So,
no.
Awesome, Bill. Well, what else did you bring with us today? What do you got going on? What are you doing?
Well, I figured I'd keep the sewing train rolling and talk a bit about sewing. It's something I know a little bit about.
Nice.
Obviously, sewing is really good for cosplay. That's how I've mostly used it. But it's also a really great skill for life in general. I was fortunate growing up. My mom taught me how to sew. She had this cool old Singer sewing machine that I learned how to do everything on. We also had a home ec class that just had a section on sewing where we did hand sewing and machine sewing. Did you guys have a sewing home ec class in high school or middle school?
Totally did, and I learned how to sew, and I promptly forgot it out of after home ec ended.
Yeah.
There you go.
My daughter sews all the time. In fact, was it this weekend or next weekend? I can't remember when she did it or if she's still doing it. But her and her friends are all doing like a big sewing party. That's all they're going to do.
A sewing circle?
Yeah, like a sewing circle, except less old lady-ish, you know? They're all like in their early 20s, and they're all going to just watch So here's the plan. They're going to get sushi, they're going to watch anime, and they're going to sew.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome, actually.
It is kind of awesome. It makes me want a simpler life.
Yeah, clear my schedule for today. I've changed my mind. That's what I want to do today.
Yeah, it sounds all right.
I had the home ec class. My mom taught me, and mostly I made Halloween costumes. But it's also super useful for making repairs to garments, which is something I do all the time. Hemming is something I use. So to make a sleeve or a pant leg slightly shorter, that's something else I end up doing a lot.
I do some of that myself, actually. I usually bundle it with hawing.
Yes, yeah.
Hemming and hawing, yeah. Wait, hemming, so like hems are like what is
like
a
the
hem?
bottom of your pants, like cuffing
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm literally touching the hem of my pant leg while I'm asking
the hem of your garment?
Yeah, while I'm asking what hems are, and I'm actually fingering my hem right now. That's funny.
So, do you know what are hems worth?
Oh, two really bulked up.
I'm done. I'll see everybody.
Good looking bulked up two brothers, and then a really chubby one that's on
I'm
a
gonna
different
go
show.
right for the New York Post. I'll see y'all later.
See you later. Yeah, that's your new career.
So having all the time, and then I also use sewing to make custom covers and bags for my tools and equipment, which is super, super useful. Making custom things is really where it's really where it shines.
Yeah. Do you
now
do
getting
like
started,
leather
you can-
bags, like I don't know, like a leather tool bag, or are you working with?
I have one I made out of sailcloth that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then I have another one made out of, I have like a waxed canvas that's really good that I made for holding all of my, I have a telescope, but it's got a bunch of extra stuff, so that goes into a custom bag I made.
When you say sailcloth, like from like a wind sail, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like a sailboat. So I asked my dad to part with one of his old sails. He has a couple of sailboats and many old sails.
Huh.
It's like a really tough nylon, like a plasticky material, and it's practically indestructible. So I made a small handbag for like drawing tools and stuff.
Nice. Very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. You could do hand sewing, which is a great place to start. All you need is a needle and thread and some fabric, maybe some scissors.
Yeah.
But then to really kick it up a notch, a sewing machine will really sort of send you into the stratosphere with what you can do.
Up your game, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you can get a good cheap one used on Craigslist. I checked the Craigslist here. There are hundreds of sewing machines you can get for a song. And I will say, just
Get a singer for a song.
that's right. The one thing I recommend with a sewing machine, learn the parts and learn how to maintain and clean it. Lubricate your machine. There's a lot of moving parts in there. So learning how to do that will extend its life dramatically, and it will make your experience with the machine a lot better.
And it'll last a long time too. I think my
They
daughter's
will,
still
yeah.
using my grandmother's old sewing machine, and
Those
show-
those old ones, like I said, my mom's old singer. I have a friend who is a tailor by trade, and she's also a bit of a nut about sewing machines. She has dozens and dozens of them. She repairs them. She buys like old industrial machines.
Yeah.
And they need a little work, but they all still work. They're 60 or 70 years old and all cast iron parts. It's really heavy and awesome.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, they made them like they made them like trucks back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now I don't know so much.
Just as heavy too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Having to lug that table with the built-in singer
Yeah.
singer machine in it. Holy cow.
Yeah. Kim's mom had one that had like bicycle wheel on it that was it was
wow.
all
you'd
manually.
run that one by hand, right?
Yeah, so you just like I don't know if you'd pedal it or use your arm or what you did, but it was no electricity. It was just like it's some old ancient artifact from her great-great-grandmother or something, but I don't know where that ended up. That's somewhere, maybe in this house even. I don't know. Should eBay it. Anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, go sew some stuff, you guys. Do you have like a favorite YouTuber that does like I don't know, good sewing routines and that sort of thing?
I don't follow sewing people on YouTube, but my friend Kathy over at God Save the Queen Fashions is the person I go to for that stuff. She's on Instagram. GSTQ Fashion, I think, is what she goes by.
Just love this idea that there's like a big channel of just nothing but sewing.
I bet there are too. I haven't even looked. Honestly, sewing is one of the most frustrating things for me, so I don't appreciate, or I don't approach it with with a lot of gusto.
Yeah. I
just kind of do it when I have to, and I know enough to get by.
That's good though. When the zombies come, you're going to be useful. I'm going to be worthless. I'm going to be, you know what? I'm going to be Frank. You're going to be, what was his name? Who did Nick Offerman play in the third episode of Last of Us? You're that guy. You're resourceful.
Oh, yeah.
You got stuff.
Bill?
You got things.
Bill, Bob,
Bill.
Bill. Yeah.
Okay, Bill.
You know,
Bill.
You can run the. There's going to be a foot pedal machine that you run to power my sewing machine, so we'll need you.
Okay, all right. I'm there, but I'll make things look pretty in our fake homoerotic story that we're making about me and Bill. All right. Carter's in the chat. Carter, you're still using my grandmother's thing, right? I hope I didn't tell that story wrong. I think that's what she's using. Anyway, well, that's great. Sew your life away, everybody, and lots of resources out there. Go check it out.
Reap
Make
what
something
you
cool.
sow.
That's right.
Sow what you reap.
Even practice on like, oh, this button fell off, or I guess you don't have to do that with the sewing machine, but like little projects around the house. Your pants need a little hemming, as we said. Do that, and don't think
you probably have a small sewing kit in your house somewhere.
Yeah,
like a small
or at least
repair
one you've
kit.
stolen from a hotel.
That's right.
True. That's true. And you don't have to. There's. Let me just talk to a few masculine men listening. Okay, listen to me right now. You are all very manly men. It's okay if you sew once in a while. It's okay. All right, it's fine. Learn a skill that you think is your mom's. and you'll find out that it can be yours as well.
Sewing is a real turn on.
That's right. By the way, Fabric was my when I was dancing on stage in Miami. That's the name I went by. Fabric. Hey, Bill, tell us what you brought as a bonus link today, because I know you got one.
Sure. The folks over at Corridor Digital have put out a new video. They made a short film that's called Anime Rock Paper Scissors.
What?
And what's amazing about it is the way they made it. It looks like a hand animated movie or short film, but it was all done with video, and they use a bunch of different processes to convert that video into like what looks like hand drawn anime frames. It's really impressive.
So it's like some of this
Amira Darkly and that but probably different than rotoscoping, right? They're doing it.
Yeah, they did it they use Stable Diffusion and a bunch of other stuff to
there's
sort
some
of hone
AI.
in on
I can see some
a
AI
style.
business going on in here.
Yeah,
I guess the Stable Diffusion, but this is wow. Look at that.
Cool.
That looks really good. Okay, I got to watch this.
Yeah, so they put out the short film, and they also put out a behind the scenes on how they did it, which I found absolutely fascinating. Even
Very
just
cool.
the way that they like layered 2D elements together to get the final look that they were going for is just really impressive.
Wow. All right, check it out. Corridor Crew
Really cool.
up there on the YouTubers.
And if you're listening to this after the fact, just go to quicktms.li and you'll find a link to everything Bobby talked about.
That's right.
Well,
Or
everything by just that YouTube channel.
or
Bobby
Bill.
talked about.
Or Bill, yeah.
Did I just do? Dang it! Now
Yeah.
I did it.
You did what I did last week or 2 weeks ago. I
I'm
know.
sorry, Bill.
Fine.
I feel better now.
I've been called Bobby before, and it won't be the last time.
No, it won't
Could we
be.
Could we shuffle everybody around? Maybe put Amy on Tuesdays and Bobby on Thursdays.
Just to mix it
and-
all up so there's not
Yeah.
two B's on the same day. Yeah. Well, Bill, it's
'Cause
always
I'm sure that'll solve the problem.
that'll fix everything. We love having you on. I hope you have a great week, and all the creativity, may it all be yours. And we'll see you next
Got
time.
it.
Bye now.
Later.
Oh, yeah, he's Chinbeard on Twitter. I don't mention Twitter much anymore because it's weird over there. It's weird. I don't like Twitter like I used to like it.
I have not posted to Twitter anything long time, and the only time I go in there is if somebody messages, like either sends me a direct message or if they mention me,
Yeah.
and I get the little notification. I'll look to see what they say, and I'll be like, like.
Yeah, and then get out.
But other than that, I'm pretty much all in Discord.
Yeah, I'm kind of weaned away. I post there because I think I need to let people know who are still there
promotion
what's
and
going
stuff,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to read there. I don't want to read.
That's true.
anymore.
I do. Well, my Streamlabs automatically post there when I go live with the show. So
Yeah. So, there's reasons to be on Twitter.
there is that.
I just
But
don't think the
that's
conversation's very good anymore. And it's not you guys. The reply tab, I'll go there all the time and see what you guys are saying. That's not it. That's not the problem.
for sure.
But I don't want to be on the public hose anymore. I'm done. I've had it.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the deal now? Oh, Bobby. That's what.
What kind of a deal?
And I was here. See, it's weird too because I have to when I add Bill to the call, it's punish props. When I add Bobby, it's Bobby.
Bobby Franks.
But then I get
just Bobby.
But I always search for Bill. I don't know. This world is weird. Let's do some science.
Yes.
Science.
Yeah, that's right. You heard me. Science with Bobby Frankenburger. He was once many other dead burgers, but they put all those burgers together and made a Frankenburger out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a living, breathing Frankenburger.
It was an Impossible Burger, and there was a Bison Burger, and
and now we got Frankenburger.
So
Hey,
it's actually
Bobby.
Frankenburger's burger.
There you go.
Frankenberg's burger.
Frankenberg's
The
burger?
scientist's
right,
name
that's
is
true.
Frankenburger.
Right.
Oh, my Lord. All right.
That's true.
Well, now I don't even know what to think. It's good to have you here, Bobby, of course, and we'd like to celebrate this early.
Let's party!
It's Bobby's birthday.
Woo! Yay! Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
For one whole segment, we'll call you Bobby.
60's the new 50. You'll be fine. No, for real. I hope hope it's a good day and you get cool things. And your kids and your wife and everybody shower you with gifts. You know, all that. Make you fancy feasts and that sort of thing.
We don't usually celebrate our birthdays on our birthday around here because
What do you do?
We like
you
birthdays around here,
coagulate?
so everybody likes to be around for them, but everybody's in like school or work or
Oh,
all this kind of stuff.
so do you like? But do you like? You know, do you hold them all and then you say, all right, we're having the summer birthdays, and it's like 3 months worth of birthdays, or that sort of thing, or no?
No, but my wife's family down in where they're all the whole extended family all lives in the city together. We got the hell out of Dodge, but they all live there, and they do that. They'll do where it's like, oh, we're gonna have a big party in February for all the February birthdays or something like that. It's like per month there.
Yeah, we do the same thing. For my mom's always running it, but July's the big one. We got like 14 birthdays in July or something, including me.
Yeah,
so.
no, we give everybody their own individual day in the Frankenberger house because it's kind of like birthdays are like a holiday, you know, like Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever other holiday, and but it's just for you.
Yeah.
So
and yours is like Christmas because you look like Jesus, so that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, hey, I got a couple of quick things for you, and I don't know why you got so much damn feedback this week, but I'm going to read these.
People love Bobby.
Yep. There's two texts and one phone call. All right, so I'm going to rip through them.
All right, great, awesome.
First one says, "Hey, I have a Bobby question for tomorrow. Would you be willing to run some Shadowrun 5E for TMS Vegas?" I don't know if he's serious about this, but what would that take for you to run?
Well, it would take everybody has to study a lot and has to have like 8 hours. That game is huge and beefy and lots of rules.
Yeah, it's a monster.
You think it takes a while to learn D&D? It takes at least 4 times as long to learn Shadowrun.
Really? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Shadowrun is well known for being one of the crunchiest rule systems. Maybe there are certainly ones that are crunchier, but Shadowrun is it's up there in that upper tier.
Yeah. Why am I not surprised that our very own Bobby the Math Boy really likes a crunchy, deep rules thing? That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
We
might have to wait for a kids edition, Shadowrun.
Shadowrun Junior
Kids edition, kind of like Settlers of Catan Kids edition.
Yeah.
Now that's so. The more realistic answer to that would be that if you have someone running the game that prepares an entire what they call them runs in Shadowrun. If you prepare a session from start to finish, and you have characters prepared for the people so they don't have to make their characters, because in Shadowrun it takes longer to make your character than it does to play a session. But if you have all that stuff ready and prepared, you can do one in 4 hours.
That's how long I was at the dentist. I would have much rather been doing that. That sounds great.
Yeah, so it's just because they do demos at like places like Gen Con or other gaming conventions, you know. So it's just that's how they have to do it. Is everything has to be prepared ahead of time. Here's your character. Here's your stuff. Here's the real quick rules. Don't worry about too much about the rules. Just roll the dice, and I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm weirdly more curious now after hearing this.
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's a fun game if you like Cyberpunk.
Well, here's another email from Luke from Boulder, Colorado. He says, "Hey, wait. What's wrong with Audio Hijack? Bobby tossed some shade at it today." This is like a couple of weeks ago. Says, "I use it for my not at all popular podcast." I don't know why I had to say that. "And I think it does the trick. Would you gents care to nerd out for a second regarding your podcast setup and maybe educate some of us?" Luke from Boulder.
Let's clarify the first part of his message should be sung as in, "Hey, wait."
Oh yeah,
what's wrong with Audio Hijack?
Hijack. Exactly. What a loss he was. So why? I don't remember what your beef was with Hijack in the first place. What was the problem?
I don't have a beef with Audio Hijack, so that was
that's weird.
Was a mischaracterization of what I was saying.
I don't remember you having issues with it either. I don't know what the deal was.
No, I said I don't use it, and I don't like to use it or things like that.
Oh, you don't like virtual
Audio Hijack
routing?
The one for Mac.
Yeah, so Audio Hijack for Mac, it is a Mac thing. They also do Loopback. They do Farrago.
It's the Rogue Amoeba folks.
Rogue Amoeba. They make amazing apps. But your whole point wasn't I don't like that app. It's that you don't like virtual pathing and routing and stuff.
Yeah.
You would much rather have like, here's a mixer. I got hard lines going into this mixer, going out of this mixer, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yes. Now I should caveat all that with saying, again, Audio Hijack is on Mac, and it could be that the user interface for it, like many Mac products, is better.
Right.
My issue is the PC equivalents, which the big things are the stuff made by VB Audio, like virtual audio cable, voice meter, like voice meter banana or voice meter potato or whatever it is that they have. I've used those things, and I did use those things back when I was first starting, because hardware solutions are expensive.
Yeah, very.
And I just, especially with Windows, the OS being how it is, and how you have to creates virtual devices in your operating system, and virtual audio interfaces that you have to deal with, and all this kind of stuff. The interface was not very intuitive, and every time I got on and had any kind of a problem or wanted to tweak something, I swear I would sit down and it would take me an hour to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it was untenable for me with the business. Speaking of tabletop gaming, the tabletop streaming and podcasting stuff that I was doing, I just couldn't. We were doing so much of it that I could not. It was too hard for me to have different, because you guys know, doing lots of different types of shows, sometimes you have different setups for different things 100%, that you're doing.
Yeah, you've got like one show that's got somebody over Discord, another one where you've got somebody maybe over Skype, or you need to send music back to them, or audio or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
especially if you're doing that. Yeah, if you're talking like we're doing on this show right now, Scott, I'm sure, has set up of a mix minus setup. The person writing said they wanted us to geek out about our audio stuff.
It's like you can hear
mix minus.
You can hear this, right? But
right.
you can't hear this. So you didn't hear that, right?
Yeah.
So I've got
I can hear Brian, but Brian can't hear himself.
Yeah. Well, he can hear himself, but
I can hear myself thanks to Audio Hijack. I see what you're saying. Like, Scott's not sending my audio.
You're not hearing an echo because you're not hearing yourself from Scott.
Right.
One of my favorite features of Audio Hijack Pro is using it just as a headphone monitor of my microphone. For whatever reason, I need to be able to hear myself, so I can I'm too far, I better come closer. Maybe that's too close or whatever. But it's the only thing that I found that has zero latency. When I say a word, boom, I hear it in my headphones instantly.
Hijack's good for that. I don't actually use Hijack at all. I do a kind of a weird thing where the mixer is the only thing that's sending me back audio, and I don't hear any echo as a result or delay. But that took a while for me to figure out the best solution for it. But you're not wrong. Windows audio subsystem stuff, kind of janky, has been forever. And if you reboot, it all resets. Stuff gets weird. You get an update. It doesn't remember anything that you had set up. It's a giant pain in the ass. For whatever reason, audio subsystem stuff on a Mac is just a lot more straightforward and simple, and not
very
hard
intuitive
to
and
wrangle.
user-friendly.
Yeah, it's very user-friendly. And those Rogue Amoeba guys just make really great software, so they're a huge part of this.
I could not live without Loopback. That is the best tool in the toolbox, which is more like the virtual audio cables function of Windows, but it's basically like, all right, send this audio from Discord to my recording program, but send this one back to Discord without this. And
what was the one we used to use back in the day, and then they claimed they couldn't do it anymore?
Wiretap?
Wiretap was this great solution at the time. It was before Loopback. And then they suddenly stopped right around Snow Leopard, and they said, well, we can't.
There was something with the audio processing on the Mac that said, we don't have access to that.
That's what they claimed anyway. And then they shut it all down, saying, well, I guess it's not going to work. Meanwhile, these guys do it just fine. It doesn't make any sense. Those guys were full of crap. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
They were just bad at their jobs.
All right, Rogue Amoeba, here, take my money.
Yeah, take my money.
Rogue Amoeba.
They haven't made anything bad ever for Mac users. Anyway, well, there's that. All right, now, here's the call. All right, the phone call.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Hello, Scott Johnson. I'm calling for the morning stream. This is about a segment with Bobby you were chatting with him about flying, as you do, and he mentioned that pilots were essentially flying bus drivers. And then you said something like, oh, man, a pilot might be offended by that, or a pilot might not like that, or something. Well, I'm sitting here in my Ford F-550 Super Duty turbo diesel 26-passenger bus right now, and I'm wondering why you think a pilot might be offended by being called a bus driver. Would love to know.
Oh, no.
Love the show. Have a great day.
I love the show, he says at the end. I don't know if it was me or you, so that's the one thing I wanted to get out of the way.
Again, I don't think that this caller is saying that I threw any shade at all. I just matter-of-factly said that what do you call it? Like airline pilots are often thought of as like they're driving a bus, right? They're even called Airbuses.
Right.
So I definitely didn't throw any shade at that, but I think he's saying that you said, well, so, bus drivers might be offended by that, but why?
Well,
that pilots might be offended.
Here's my
by being
addendum
called
to that.
Bus drivers.
Here's my addendum, because I would say, while I mean zero shade, especially to this dude, he sounds cool.
Yeah.
Zero shade at all toward the occupation of driving a bus. I'm saying that uppity pilots might feel some shade toward bus drivers and therefore would be like, don't compare me to a bus driver. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's what you are. I'm saying pilots, because I've met, I don't know, 5 or 6 people who are commercial pilots in my life through business and other stuff. They're all kind of very good at their jobs, but they're kind of dickish. They're all like up here going, oh, yes, I fly a pilot. I'm a pilot. This is a very hard deal that I do. It's very like there's a lot of that going on. So if we have any pilots out there who are offended by what I just said just now, let us know. But that's all I'm saying is I think those guys would look down on the bus reference. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we're gonna get a call next week. It's gonna be like this. Scott, you threw some shade at the.
That'll be Obama, former President Obama.
It was kind of a little bit Obama. It's a little bit of my Obama impersonation, but
that's great. Well, anyway,
all
right.
To your left, you'll see some offense that I've taken on your most recent episode of.
Well, I love that call. That guy was great. And if you want to do this, and even if whether it's about Bobby or anything else, that number is 801-471-0462, and you can leave us voicemails and or text, whatever you feel like doing. All right, Bobby, you probably brought some real science with you today. What is it, and why will we be excited to talk about it?
Well, I did sort of bring a little bit of something that I'm working up to talk a little bit more about on my podcast proper when I record it later this week. It has to do with some galaxies that James Webb Space Telescope has been looking at. But I'm wondering if you want to hear my thoughts. Everybody keeps wanting to hear my thoughts about this bionic reading stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
I've had more than one person ask me to talk about it on my show.
Yeah.
And I haven't. And there's a reason why. And it's because first of all, I'm very skeptical about the bionic reading stuff. I'll say that right at the top.
Yeah. Does it not, when you see it, can you not read it any quicker, or how does it?
It has nothing to do with that. Like, just the claim I'm very skeptical about. And the more I dug into it, the more skeptical I got.
Really?
Yeah, because so to cut to the chase of why I didn't bring it up why I haven't brought it up on my podcast, just because in general, if there's something that I'm just skeptical about, I don't see any reason to bring it up on my podcast, because our podcast is, that's not what we're trying to do, is push our glasses up and say, well, actually, all the time. So that's why I haven't addressed it on the show. But since you guys did talk about it, this whole thing about bionic reading. First of all, bionic reading, right away you should be aware of the fact that that is a trademark name.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right.
Oh, who owns that?
That automatically should always raise some skeptical alarm bells. That doesn't mean it's not true or it's not based on something true. It just means whoever is telling you and trying to tell you all about bionic reading trademark they've got something they're trying to sell.
Well,
you.
what if nobody told me about it, and all I know is I can read these paragraphs way faster than I can without them?
So I'll jump around. Yeah, I'll answer instead of going sequentially through my thoughts. I'll answer your questions as they come.
All right.
So you read it and you thought, I feel like I can read this faster, and it's entirely possible that is just an illusion. That you're not actually reading it faster. You just feel like you're reading it faster because of the emphasis that's being placed on the words. There's this, and then so your perception of how fast you read it is then something you think about later. Now, already, like you remember being able to read it more easily or faster. Now, I know that some people are already going to say, well, either they timed themselves or they timed someone else, or there's all this research of people being timed on their reading of things and it just seems to be faster. That may be true. It may be that you can read it faster, but let me ask you, why do we read things?
It's so that we can understand what's written there.
Yeah, to educate and entertain.
So we read things, or why do we write things down and have other people read them? Is because we're trying to, transmit information which requires comprehension, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody's getting anything out of the thing that you're writing. They're not reading anything with a purpose if they're not understanding what they're reading. And being able to read something faster has nothing to do with whether or not you're able to comprehend it better.
Sure.
So that's research that's been done on so-called speed reading claims for a really, really long time. And the evidence has always been that despite what people trying to sell you speed reading programs claim, the evidence has consistently shown that speed reading tactics and techniques do not increase comprehension. At the best, they don't increase comprehension. At the worst, they probably reduce comprehension ability.
Yeah. Well, hold on, because I didn't answer one of your questions, or I didn't answer your question properly. When you said, why do we read things? And now hearing you say this, here's why this is helpful for me.
Yeah.
At least from what I can tell. When I'm reading on the show or on a show, my goal isn't to comprehend, because I've already done that, because I went and found it before and thought, well, is this going to be good in the show and all of that? My goal is to get those words out and not be distracted. And this makes me feel less distracted. Like I only know that the difference between those two blocks of text are one is like, bam, out, done, out the door, got it, nailed it, every word, didn't slow down, didn't have to do an or didn't get bunged up because I got distracted. And the other, all those other things are true.
Sure.
Not all the time, but sometimes. So I get that there's generally not a, like getting it more quick. What you said about getting it more quickly and processing it are two different things.
Right.
So like processing information more deeply or ripping through it obviously are two different things. And if your goal is to comprehend, then this may even be detrimental to people. I don't know. But all I know is, and again, you're hinting at like maybe placebo effect or something, which I'm totally open to this conversation, by the way. This isn't me being defiant. I'm just saying that when I read one...
let me be clear, I don't know what the answer is.
Right.
I'm explaining what the reasons are that I'm skeptical of it, and I will say that I've dug, and there's not really any research that's being done on this bionic reading stuff. So that's the other problem.
Yeah.
We don't know, because the research isn't being done. On their website, even a lot of these people that will push these trademark methods or things that are new and this new idea, they'll do their own research, but it's usually not great. I don't even think that they've done much of their own research. They just cite a bunch of old research, and I feel like they're citing it either out of context or as a distraction, because the research that they're citing doesn't show what they're claiming. It just seems to show what they're claiming. Now, I'm making it sound like they're being deliberately deceptive. I'm not here to make claims like that. I often think that people who are trying to sell these things maybe genuinely do believe that they work, and they very well may be. So I always try to be charitable with people's claims. You know, like I don't think they're just trying to rip people off, but you can't know how well it works unless the research has been done. You know.
Right. No, that's a good point. I don't know what it is though. Like part of me wishes. Well, that's what I did when I first saw it. I didn't know what it was. I just saw this paragraph. I'm like, what's with all these bold letters? But then I just chewed through it. It was like wham, wham.
And did you have because what I did was I read one paragraph and then I read the same paragraph or set of paragraphs, then with the bolded with the bionic text. You went straight into the bionic text, right, Scott? Or did you do?
I did. I had somebody sent me a thing that was just the text. Just the stuff with the bolds and the lead-ins or whatever to the letters.
Yeah.
And that one, all on its own, it just was like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. It was like speed.
Yeah.
I've never speed read, but the only thing I can think of is I just went through this thing. And then I went and looked up another block of similar text, not the same text, but similar text, and it was my normal pace. Then when I converted it, just ripped through it again.
Okay.
And there's some people who are like, oh, I get all bunged up on it, and it actually slows me down. I could never do this. Or others are like, the bold letters are really distracting to me. So, like, mileage may vary, obviously, depending on who you are. But
sure.
For whatever reason, it just made me just haul ass. And I can't explain
and
it.
So the whole placebo effect thing that I'm talking about is what to drill down on it a little bit. What I'm really saying is that it might feel easier, and that might be what's the effect is. That just feels easier because you're able to focus on the words better. But you might not actually be reading it faster. It just might feel easier to read. And there's well-known effects called what's it called? Perceptual fluency. I think it's this idea that if something feels easier, and there's a lot of different areas where perceptual fluency has been studied. And it's this idea that if something feels easier, then you will like it or trust it more. And so that they may be relying a lot on that feeling, and it becomes very anecdotal and very personal when and that, that's why you put it in front of people and say, here, read this.
Yeah.
Feels easier to read. And then there you go.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So, like, if how do I put this? Like, whatever, you described it. Like, placebo is such a complicated thing anyway, right? Like, people actually, in tests where placebos are part of the test for control, there are groups of them who are better or feel better. They may not, cancer may not go away, but, they feel better because they think they've been given the pill, and that's sometimes enough for us to do enough in our heads to control things. I mean, that's the whole point of the placebo effect, I guess.
Yeah, but be careful not to trigger me about the placebo effect.
Yeah, I don't want to get.
We don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. But so I guess I understand, on a basic way how that works. But I've never thought about it in terms of this. Like I think Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but as two guys who studied typology in college, fonts matter, right? Like, so if you got a shitty reading font.
Right.
You're going to read slower.
You can read serif fonts faster than sans serif fonts because those lines create a visual track or a subliminal track for you to go through.
Right. At least that's what we were taught. And it does, you don't want to give somebody a bad font for a book, or else they just don't get read the way that they would if it was a readable font. And there's a group of those that people generally whatever. And then there's font size, depending on your eyes. Maybe you're struggling with smaller text. I mean, there's all those issues.
That has a lot to do with things like eye strain and just how quickly your eye is able to focus, stuff like that. And that could be something that's at play here, that could lead to that feeling of this feels easier to read, but that has nothing. Their claim is that it's going to increase comprehension and increase speed, which isn't necessarily true. We don't know if that's true. Another thing is there is a lot of research on eye tracking and how our eyes are drawn to words and how they most efficiently scan and process words. And so you would think that whatever that natural tendency of where your eye is naturally tends to fall in a word, that should be where you bold it. And the beginning of a word is not where your eye naturally wants to fall. There's a lot of research that shows that we look, especially the longer the word, the more this is true, obviously. But our eye tends to want to fall into the middle of a word, and maybe just barely to the left of center of a word.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a little one with a cold.
It's very complicated is the point. And
I feel bad for one of your kids. Someone's sick.
I know. Someone's homesick
my daughter
from
is,
school.
You guys can hear that. My daughter's homesick from school, so she's over there doing
They're,
drawing videos, Scott. She's learning.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
That's great. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm trying to find it really quick. There was a font that there was a big deal a couple years ago, and I can't remember who created it, but it was a font that took certain line segments out to make it a little bit more compact, and because of that, you're able to read through it a lot faster. I thought it was called Clear Font, but I'm not.
I remember that. Yeah.
I actually still, I think, have it installed on my computer, and I'm trying to find.
I know
the
what you're
name of
talking about. The letters end up looking kind of like glyphs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I remember
and
that.
I'd be curious, to know, all right, how much does that help things or hurt things in the speed reading, and can you multiply that effect if bionic font was to work?
Yeah.
Could that be multiplied by using something like this?
Yeah, who knows? It's just there's a lot, like, if you want to know if this is actually doing anything, you need to do the work, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's what bugs me about things like this, is they haven't done the work. They're just looking at some old research and kind of like drawing some conclusions from it, it seems, and then marketing something.
Yeah.
And so that always makes me, feel very skeptical and say, I'm not so sure about this, and I can't get anywhere with it because the research hasn't been done.
Right. Well, interesting. I'm glad we went deeper on it, because I don't understand why this is so much easier for me to read.
Now, let me say, if in a couple of years the research is done and it shows that it does work, I don't want people coming at me going like, "Ha, gotcha, Bobby." Because I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying I have a feeling it doesn't work because of all these reasons, but we can't know. That's all. So I'm, like Brian, don't buy the the app or whatever it was, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You could just be fooling yourself into thinking, and that's my tie to the skeptical movement, to skepticism, is in consumer protection. That's why I care about it. And so I don't think we should be being sold things that there's nothing to back them up.
No proof behind.
Well, I agree with that. What are they selling, though? Are they actually selling something?
Well, the extension in Safari has
which is weird, because I did actually find a Chrome extension.
But that's not them. What I mean is, like, whoever copyrighted the thing. Yeah, this is just somebody trying to take advantage of it. But like my Chromium one, the one I'm running in Brave, is free.
I did find a Chrome extension by the Bionic Reading people that will take a website and convert it to this method or whatever. But
right.
I don't know. It's very, there's something that there's. I did remember seeing on their website there are things apps and stuff that they are trying to, programs that you can buy and stuff like that.
Sure.
I found the font. It's Sans Forgetica.
Sans Forgetica? Are you kidding?
Forgetica. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's I'll put a link to the Wikipedia page, but it's
oh, this is what I remember, but I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Okay.
With
Oh yeah. Check this out, chat.
Chunks of the font, yeah.
Yeah, big hunks of it just ripped out, right? Like the
Yeah.
A and the N. Like look at that S with a big old right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and the W that looks like an A with quotation marks around it, single quotes around it.
Let's see. This was a multidisciplinary team of designers and behavioral scientists from RMIT University came up with this. I mean, who knows if this looks like it wouldn't work for me.
This one said the first peer-reviewed study demonstrated that Sans Forgetica was not effective for enhancing memory.
Oh, it was not. Okay.
Was not, no.
Well, it's definitely good for me remembering that my printer needs toner, because it feels like
it's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. My typewriter ribbon is getting old.
The other thing is, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, because I just thought about this too. When you do the Bionic Reading thing, it'll highlight either the first letter or the first chunk of every word, right? Including really short words like on, the, and, of. it'll highlight that, it'll bold that first letter.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of research that shows that when you eye scan, when they do eye tracking and you're scanning over text, you just skip those words. Your eyes don't even focus on those words. So, you know, it seemed to me that if you are bolding those and causing yourself to focus on those words, wouldn't that slow you down? Like,
Yeah,
for some, it
shouldn't
doesn't
you be
for me
drawing
though.
the eyes to the parts that lead to the most
Unless-
comprehension and efficient reading? You know.
I mean, unless your eyes are able, unless your brain is saying, yeah, I'm done with that word, go to the next one. I like got what I need based on the context of those two letters, those two bolded letters. I know exactly what that word is, go to the next one, kind of thing.
Well, take this as for what it is, but I took that same group of paragraph where we got the bolded first 2-3 letters of every word, depending on the length of the word, and I reversed it. I just went in and manually reversed it. So now I've got the last, depending on the word, the last 1, 2, or 3 letters are bold. I can't read that shit. It's like hitting a wall.
Interesting.
So I'm reading it. I can read it, but I'm stuttering through it. It's like, oh, okay. It feels like I'm hitting walls at the end of every word, whereas the other way, I feel like I'm jumping off a cliff on a word. And it's like, there's the whole word. So if the word's sanctimonious, I'm like, sanctimonious! Woohoo!
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, what
I don't
about all
know.
those things that you read where they'll take the first and last letter and leave them the same and then jumble up all the middle letters? What if you just bolded the first letter and the last letter? I don't know. Maybe that would work.
Oh, maybe we should try that. I don't know what that would
you
do.
never. It's you have to research it to find out, right? That's the whole point. I'm making.
Yeah. No, I get it. There may even be just a really simple principle of composition happening here. So, like in art studies, you learn about composition and flow can differ in different cultures. Like the flow, the direction of flow is different, say, in a lot of Japanese work as opposed to Western work, because they, not just in their books but in other art forms, tend to go from right to left, and we tend to go from left to right. And so if you're creating a painting and you want to kind of have a flow to it, you have to think of these things. And sometimes that flow means big object, small object. It's like alliteration in words even, where it's just like you flow easily into the next thing. And I think starting with a big, fat, bold letter, for me anyway, starts the flow. And the flow is almost like a funnel.
To me, you just opened up a whole nother can of worms in terms of why I feel like this might not be very plausible. And that is that bolding the left-hand side, the first couple letters in a word like that, is very culturally specific.
Yeah, for sure.
It's in Eastern or in writing that does go right to left. This has got to be like wouldn't you have to do it differently? What about languages
Japanese
like,
where the letters go down and stuff like that?
And in those ones where you're using glyph alphabets, like that represent whole words. Like how is that totally different? And what that means, if you would have to do it differently for different languages and different cultural setups for how information is expressed textually, then that absolutely means that this is not inherent in our brains.
Oh yeah, no, I don't even think that. Well, maybe that is their claim, but I think my assumption is this is for English. Like this works because our alphabet, our 26-letter alphabet, and the way it lays itself out and the way our words are constructed, that's why it works. And if they were all using that, it would work for them, but they're not.
That it somehow patches the English language to make it more
a little bit
fluent.
Yeah, because it's a complicated language anyway. A proper sentence is 4-4-4-4 or whatever the frick that one is. I forget what it is. But we're it's so weird, like the way we construct words, and the concept that you could take any of these things. Like there's probably a whole different concept or approach to the way you would do Japanese characters, but it wouldn't involve bolding. It would involve something else. Like I don't know what it would be, but the idea is that it would be specific to the language model. At least that's from what I can tell. And you're right, none of this is studied, so who knows? It's all guesswork, but that's where the logic takes me anyway. I'd love to see a study about this because I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely should be done. So any scientists in this field that are out there, you should
get on
look
that.
into it.
Yeah, get on that. Get it going. If you're doing,
Drop what you're doing and do it.
Yeah, Egyptian hieroglyphics. How do you bold those? That's a weird idea. Anyway, well, Bobby, as always, good to have you here and your voice here and all this discussion. Tell people where they can get All Around Science and what you guys are discussing coming up.
Yeah, All Around Science is the podcast that me and my co-host Maura do. You can get that on everywhere. Just look for All Around Science or go to allaroundscience.com. This past week we actually did a mailbag episode, our first mailbag episode. We started to get some questions piled up, and there were a lot of dark energy questions. People were really interested in dark energy.
Ooh, dark energy. I like it.
So so we talked a bit about that and some other things. That episode's already out. Next week, I guess I'm going to talk about what I was going to talk about until you piqued my interest with this bionic reading stuff, which is about the James Webb Space Telescope. There's been a lot of, for the past week, been talking about this thing where they found a bunch of galaxies from the very beginning of our universe that are way bigger than they feel like they should have been. Like galaxies shouldn't have been as big as our Milky Way from like 500 million years after the Big Bang, and it seems way like almost 100 times faster than they should have been able to form. So it's a really interesting new physics maybe, and so I'll talk about that on next week's show. So check it out, All Around Science.
That's right. Go check it out because it's good. Okay. It's very good.
Science. We've determined. We've studies have come back and said science is good.
Yeah, science is good. I think we have. Now I'm going to hang up on Bobby. We're going to find out if it makes Discord fart or not. Okay, here we go. Bye, Bobby. All right, he's gone. Nope, we're good. Wait.
Yep.
Are we good? Are we? It's not good. Okay, now we're back.
What'd you do?
It did nothing. It just reboot.
Did it on its own. Weird.
Discord's weird, man. For a second, it looked like it was okay, but then it went blank and
maybe next time let's have him turn off his video first.
Yeah, it might be that. Maybe it's just farting on that. I don't know. Can't figure it out. We need science on that, Bobby. Tell us the science of that.
How do we test this?
Real quick before we get out of here, we got a Turo comment.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
And he says, it's not a he, it's a she. It's Leslie, Logan's mom. Yeah. Love her. So I just want to comment on something Brian said when talking about Turo on yesterday's episode. He mentioned the idea of somebody renting a Tesla as an alternative to test driving one. My husband, Chris, totally did that. He rented a Tesla anytime we needed to take a long drive anywhere or needed a rental after flying somewhere. By the time his Model Y arrived in December, we already knew everything about it. It came in white, but he got it wrapped in Rams blue.
Wow, that's dedication right there.
Yep.
That's such a cool idea, and I might have to think about that for my next car. Looks like so I had put my car up on Turo on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Basically finished getting all the photos done and edited. Had to kind of do some photo retouching to just make it look like, look like there weren't water droplets all over it and things like that.
Sure.
Take the lift signs out of the window.
Yeah, good idea.
Because I was too lazy to take those out before I took photos. And put it up on Sunday morning, and yesterday afternoon got my first Turo rental agreement, which is somebody picking it up tomorrow and bringing it back to me on Sunday. So talk about your trial by fire. It's going to be like technically a 96-hour rental. Is that right?
Is that
24-hour?
Oh, I see. Right.
Deals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
you're going to find out.
Yep, exactly. So I'm going to see what this whole thing is about. And yes, Katrina's carousel. I am absolutely nervous about this, although I did some research on the guy who's renting it, and he's got a bunch of every review from people he's rented from is positive. So
okay,
yeah,
all right. So it's not going to be like those guys in Ferris Bueller's Day Off where they take the.
I know that's what country do you think this is? Yeah, that guy. I'm sure hoping. Yeah.
Well, they have the huge insurance policy that they cover you with, right?
They do. Yeah. I mean, really good insurance policy through Turo. And I definitely need to make some adjustments because I'm looking at other people's cars around the same as mine, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's a cleaning fee that we're adding. Here's a this fee. Here's a that fee." It's like, "Oh yeah, I need to do all those things."
Oh,
right now,
interesting.
he got in before I really figured things out, and so he's getting a screaming deal. But I need to add in all those extras for him.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. Now you get to nickel and you get to be Vegas. You get to do resort fees, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. You want a free newspaper? That's going to be an extra $8.
Yep. Welcome to Resort Fee Town. That's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Crazy Turkish. It took me, like, if I already had the photos, if you don't count the time it takes to take photos of the outside and a couple shots of the inside of your car, the whole thing maybe took me half an hour, 45 minutes to set up.
No big deal.
I don't even have to, like with Lyft, I have to go take my car to a place that can do a evaluation on it, an inspection. Not with Turo. It's like, hey, boop, you're all set.
Did they give you, do they have to approve you? Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they have to look at your back, they have to do background check or any of that?
They did a background check on me, yeah, just to make sure I wasn't wasn't doing, make sure that I don't have like a bunch of stolen car felonies or something in my background.
Yeah, you don't have Pinkman blue meth in the back seat or something weird like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so when I buy my next car, I'm probably not going to trade in the Soul. I'll just keep the Soul on Turo, depending on how well it does.
See, that's
then I'll have my own car, and then
we were just thinking about this. But don't you always have to take that car to wherever it needs to go, or do they come to you?
He's coming to pick up the car from me, which is one of the nickel and dimey kind of things I'm going to add. I will deliver it to the airport and pick it up from the airport, but it's going to be an extra fee to do that. And it's easy for me because there's a light rail I can take that gets me 90% of the way back home. But you can set it up so that they don't come to your house, but that they come to a parking lot near your house so that they don't see, so they don't know exactly where you live.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Well, guinea pigging it for the rest of us. I like it.
Totally guinea pigging it.
Yeah. Getting that guinea in the pig. All right. Well done. Hey, tonight, 3:30 Mountain Time, we're doing an All Things Star Fox episode of Play Retro, me and Dunaway. So you didn't hear it announced yesterday because we didn't have a show. So that'll be today, 3:30 Mountain Time. Me, Dunaway, and all the Star Fox you can eat. Starting with the SNES original all the way up through its current iterations, or at least we'll discuss those. But how influential was the stupid talking Fox? Well, you'll find out later today. Beep, 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 beep. Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll.
That was my favorite.
It was. And SNES didn't have voices, I guess, right?
No, that was Slippy Toad.
Freaking Slippy Toad.
Slippy Toad.
Such a dumb name. All right. I want to thank everybody for their patronage this month. We're about to roll over into a brand new month, and it's a perfect time for you to get in. Speaking of which, later today, I'm going to be giving a pair of random patrons of the top 2 levels of our Patreon are getting very cool packages in the mail. And will it be you? Well, it could be if you signed up before I get over there. There's a chance. Okay. So get in now, and you could be random. Again, it's the top 2 tiers is where I'm aiming this week, but I'm going to send you a nice little mystery Frog Pants package. And there won't be anything weird in there, all right? It won't be like a dead animal or something. It'll all be fine.
Gross.
Yeah, it'll all be
I
good.
can't believe they're going to get a prize and not have to do anything extra. Holy cow.
Yeah, they don't have to
awesome.
do crap. All you have to do is just be a patron. So do you want to be that patron? Get in there, and I'll do it later today, patreon.com/TMS. You'll never get ads. You get pre-show content every day. You get couch parties on the weekend, art in the mail, play dates, and much, much more. Go read about it at patreon.com/TMS. And a reminder, make sure you join our Frog Pants Discord, where TMS is, of course, a bunch of channels for TMS in there, as well as the Vegas channel and other stuff. Please be in there if you haven't yet. And if you're like, I don't even know how Discord works, it's not that hard. Just get in. You'll be all set. It's all easy. It's free. frogpants.com/Discord. Okay? So go in there and get in there. That's it for today, I think. Brian, you got anything else?
I have got nothing else. I have a song. Scott.
Oh, shit.
Song.
You should play the song then.
Okay. Well, somebody you know wrote in and said, if you're reading this on the date that I've requested it, then you've probably just talked to me about some sort of amazing science topic. Well, what you probably didn't notice was all the subtle hints I made that it was my birthday today. Oh yeah, we know. You walked into the the tadpole the chat, and we all knew.
Yep.
I'm 39 years old today, and as I'm nearing the age of 40, I'm trying not to bother myself with thoughts of getting older. I'm determined to enter my 40s kicking and screaming my way back into my youthful 20s. I'm a big Weezer fan, and there's a song on their Pinkerton album that embodies this kicking and screaming mentality pretty well. It's called The Good Life. Might be a stretch to find a cover of that song, but if anyone can do it, it's Brian Ibbett. If you can't find that, then any cover of a Weezer song from the Blue Album would be great. Something like My Name is Jonas or Buddy Holly or something. Anyway, love you guys. I look forward to another year of working with the two of you. with the two of my podcasting heroes. Oh, shut up. Favorite people and friends. You guys are the best. Bobby. I threw that in there for his kid.
Yeah, I get it. Everybody's got a cough. Yeah, I get it. That's good.
Yep, exactly. You're sweet, Bobby. Thank you and happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic day. Come on. A cover of The Good Life? I have three. I had three to choose from in my library already without even doing any hunting. And this was my favorite of the three. This almost feels like if Kate Bush covered Weezer.
Oh,
there's a
weird.
very Kate Bush feel to this. This is the song The Good Life by Weezer, covered by Xylos from the Engine Room Recordings presents a tribute to Weezer from 2012. Here is Xylos.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye now.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Oh.
Oh, that hurts just listening to it.
I know. I still don't entirely remember what movie that was. It was a Film Sack movie, but I don't remember. It was too long ago.
Damn funny, whatever.
Really great. She was like all happy and then whammo. All right.